Lives Matter movement rose in 2013 as a call to action for Black liberation. Prior to that, activists have been fighting for social justice even before they were legally freed on June 19, 1865, also known as Juneteenth Day. The movement is not about division, but an encouragement for awareness, empathy, and action in an unbalanced system. How to begin? Find resources and books, podcasts, and films. I have selected 3 of my latest reads in the Black Lives Matter education. As a fan of her previous podcast, Two Dope Queens, a collaboration with actress-comedian Jessica Williams, I was excited for this book. Comedian Phoebe Robinson's series of essays cover race, feminism, and pop culture in a way that feels like hearing a close friend's thoughts. She covers the history of Black women's hair up until the iconic scene when Viola Davis pulls off her wig in How to Get Away with Murder. Impressively, she intermingles humor in between talk of nationwide incidents of blatant racism and her own personal dealings with microaggressions. Discriminatory actions and statements against a marginalized group are microaggressions. It can be as simple as calling someone exotic after they explain their ethnic background. The double oppression of the Black woman in our culture is so prevalent it's seen when upholding the myth of the angry Black woman. As Phoebe rightfully questions, why isn't a Black woman able to feel every spectrum of her feelings? There's a required and an uncomfortable look within, no matter where you are in your allyship journey. You Can't Touch My Hair helps enlighten with both light and serious tones, so it's an easy start in BLM education. A response novel to author James Baldwin's 1963 The Fire This Time, Jesmyn Ward edited a 3-part anthology from 18 writers. The collection of poems and essays spans across the past, the present, and the future of Black lives. Such an important novel as this one doesn't refrain from eloquent reflections of society's harsh opinion on Black beings. From criminalizing victims of murder to regarding skewed historic remembrance in high esteem, such as pride in the rebel flag, Confederate monuments, and the restoration of plantations. The novel laments on environmental racism as seen with Hurricane Katrina in 2005 in New Orleans. It dips into history at many points, one being the death of 14-year-old Emmett Till in 1955, a catalyst for the civil rights movement. The variety of Black voices takes the reader on an empathetic journey to not just understanding the pain, but comprehending it finally. Explanations with introspective prompts to accompany them, this novel is a must-read. Due to systemic racism being so ingrained in our subconscious, change will not happen unless we do the internal work. The book began as a 28th day Instagram challenge, then turned into a downloadable workbook, and then finally, in January of this year, it officially expanded into its novel form. 4 weeks total, with each week being a deeper look within. One must have a fresh journal ready as a tag-along partner when reading this book. It starts off with basic terms and scenarios facing systemic racism. Week 2 is a general scope of anti-Blackness, racial stereotyping, and cultural appropriation. Week 3 is covering what allyship entails. The word allyship is a verb. suggesting action supporting Black, Indigenous, and people of color. The final week is brief, but the meatiest in self-analysis. In my BLM education, I've come across many terms and concepts that were easily explained to me by Mrs. Syed. Misogynoir, the hatred towards Black women, racism versus prejudice, and optical allyship, aka performative allyship, among others. Once a novel is done, Mrs. Syed includes a handy resource guide for books, podcasts, and films. All these books were not meant as an attack, just thorough lessons in Black lives' sorrow. We don't learn these stories clearly in our history books, and we don't want to burden our friends by poking at their wounds. The information and the history is in the literature. So please, start from anywhere you're compelled to. Just please start.
For more information on the summer reading program, visit our webpage at www.calcasieulibrary.org.